Today on Judge Faith, longtime friends face off in court when Promise Repairs failed to get a used car back on the road.
You see them online, you can go out to the Salvage yard, check the car out, crank it up, drive it, and see what's wrong with it.
The plaintiff drove the car to my location, so I had never been in the car.
So you're that person. There's always one in the neighborhood that always has a car up on blocks.
And later, a pair of Morehouse alumni set out to sell T-shirts at homecoming, but find out the hard way it's not always a good idea to mix business with friendship.
I ended up actually paying for all the shirts.
To be honest with you, it was a lack of support from Durham.
It just seemed like there was an issue from the start. You're paying $13 per T-shirt right out of the box.
Faith Jenkins. Her distinguished legal career began when she graduated first in her law school class. She quickly became a tough New York City prosecutor and then a preeminent legal analyst on cable news. And now she's the judge in her own courtroom. Her cases are real and her rulings are final. She is Judge Faith. Plaintiff Elmore Copeland says a defendant was paid to get his used car on the road, but the vehicle failed to pass inspection. He's suing for a used car, additional fees, and repairs. Defendant Otis Martin says he doesn't owe because he only agreed to fix the bumper, and the salvage vehicle had additional issues that caused it to fail inspection.
All rise. Court is in session. The Honorable Judge Faith Jenkins presiding. Please be seated. Your Honor, the litigants have been sworn in. This is the case of Copeland versus Martin.
Thank you, Juan. Elmore Copeland,
Yes, Your Honor.
you were suing the defendant Otis Martin
Yes, Your Honor.
for $3,096. You say he owes you for a car you purchased from him and additional fees and repairs?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, what kind of car did you purchase from him, sir?
It was a 2007 Ford Taurus.
And tell me about the circumstances of the purchase. What happened? How do you know the defendant? Is he a friend of yours, or did you just meet him through this car purchase?
I knew his mother and father, who owned a liquor store, and that's how I knew him.
Okay.
And I knew he sold cars and worked on cars, so I went to him to purchase the car.
Okay, now, do you work at a used car dealership, or are you just the person about town that sells
I'm a
cars?
dealer,
Okay.
and I'm a repairman, and kind of sort of like to look at good-looking women. Your Honor.
Okay, so you gonna answer my question, or you gonna act like you on blackpeoplemeet.com today? What do you do, sir, for a living?
I'm an automobile broker, and I repair cars, bodywork.
Okay, do you work at a particular dealership?
I do.
Okay, and you were aware that he worked at a dealership, and you went to him. Why did you want a 2007 Ford Taurus?
Because of the price.
Because of the price?
Yes. It was a Salvage car.
It was a car that was coming from a salvage lot.
Yeah, from a Salvage yard.
And what was the price?
Well, you have to bid on those cars.
Okay.
Yeah. See, you see them online, you can go out to the Salvage yard, check the car out, crank it up, drive it, and see what's wrong with it. And I have a picture of the car if you would like to see it in its salvage condition.
Okay.
It needed a bumper on the rear. He put the bumper on, and it also had an airbag light that was on.
So let me see the car. Let me see this 2007 Ford Taurus.
Yes.
Okay. The purchase price was $1,200. That's what you bid on the car?
I gave him $1,000 to pay for the car, and the other $600 for him to repair the car and get the airbag light.
So it would pass inspection? Because
Yes.
it would not pass inspection in the condition that it was in?
No.
Was the agreement that you would make repairs on the car so that it would pass inspection?
No, that wasn't the agreement.
What
The
do you say
agreement
the
was that, the agreement was that I was to fix the bumper. I didn't even know that the airbag light was on initially. The plaintiff drove the car to my location, so I had never been in the car.
Is that true?
Coming up, the excuses about the problems with a used car get even more complicated.
He had the car for 2 months because he couldn't get the airbag light to go off.
Is that true?
It wasn't because I couldn't get the airbag light. It was because the weather was bad.
For 2 months, the weather was so bad you could not do 5 to 6 hours worth of work on the car?
And later, a T-shirt business that's a bust causes bad blood between college friends.
When did you get the shirts?
I didn't get the shirts until that Friday evening.
Why did you get them so late, sir?
I didn't make the payment.
You couldn't use PayPal or anything like that?
Plaintiff Elmore Copeland says Otis didn't make the promised repairs to his used car. He's suing for a used car, additional fees, and repairs. Defendant Otis Martin says he doesn't know because he only agreed to fix the bumper.
Yes, I drove the car to his location, but his job was to make sure that the car passed inspection.
No matter what repairs needed to be made, he's telling you that he would make all necessary repairs?
Just two things, Your Honor.
Okay, what were those two things?
Two things. The first thing was to put the rear bumper on.
Right.
The second thing was to make the airbag light. Just two things.
The airbag light go off. So you're saying you had no knowledge of this? That's not true?
Not that I can recall. I didn't find out the airbag light was on until after I had did the repairs on the bumper because the battery was drained, so I couldn't start the car.
Where's the car now?
It's at my house. After he had the car for 2 months.
You had the car for 2 months?
Yes, he had the car at his place.
For what?
Because he couldn't get the airbag light to go off.
Is that true?
It wasn't because I couldn't get the airbag light. It was because the weather was bad.
Okay, for 2 months, the weather was so bad you could not do 5 to 6 hours worth of work on the car?
Well, I couldn't do it because of the weather.
It
was rainy and cold. It was very cold during that month, and we got that rain.
You don't have a garage you do your work in?
No, I wasn't. His car wasn't in the garage.
And it was at your house?
At my house. Right.
Okay.
Right.
So you're that person.
Right.
So there's always one in the neighborhood that always has a car up on the lot.
Bingo, that's me.
Bingo,
that's me.
You're that person.
Yeah, there you go. That's me. I mean, basically, all I was supposed to do was repair the bumper, and I think I did that. I mean, if you don't mind, I've got pictures of that. I did that. Look at that bumper. That's a pretty good job.
Your Honor, I admit he did an excellent job on the bumper. It's just the airbag light.
And so you've taken the car to Ford, and they've told you what you need to do to get the airbag light on.
Yes, ma'am.
Let me see that proof of that.
I have the diagnostic test, and I have the...
Because you bought the car as is, and if you bought the car as is, and there was no agreement that additional work would be done, this case will be over. Do you have anything in writing to support what you're saying? Do you have any text messages, anything to corroborate there was an agreement that he would do all of this work as part of the purchase of this car?
I have a text message from him. Let me see what it says.
Don't you pull out a flip phone on me. I'm just kidding. I'm just joking.
You can read that text message right there.
Based on the text message evidence that's just been submitted to me, there's an agreement between the two of you. If indeed the agreement was that and this is why you have to put things in writing, even when you're dealing with friends of parents you know from the liquor store. You are just getting by in this case by the skin of your teeth with the evidence in this case, and here's why. It appears there was an expectation as a part of this agreement that you would fix the airbag light, because I have text messages, and this has been nearly 2 months at this point. The bumper's already on the car.
Right.
And he's texting you saying, when are you going to finish the work getting the airbag light off so I can go and get this car inspected? It's been nearly 2 months for a job you said you would do in 1 day.
Right, the bumper.
Here's what I'm going to do. You submitted proof that it would cost $889 for you to take the car to the Ford dealership, and they will do the work to get the airbag light off. You paid the defendant $1,600. He was not able to do that. I'm going to order him to return $889 so you can take it to Ford and get the remaining repairs done. Judgment in this case in the amount of $889 in your favor.
Thank you, Your Honor. I feel like I should have got more money out of it because of the money I had to spend, for him to try to get the work done that he promised to do.
I mean, I sold him a car as is, so I'm trying to figure out why I've got to pay to fix someone else's car. He knew what he was getting into when he bought the car.
We're always interested in what you have to say about our cases. Write us with your thoughts or comments. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, or my Instagram. I look forward to hearing from you.
Plaintiff Gerard Moore says he put up the money to launch a T-shirt business, but the defendant never paid him back. He's suing for T-shirt profits. Defendant Gregory Brown says he doesn't know because he did all the work and there wasn't a profit. He's countersuing for work hours invested and mental anguish. He's accompanied in court today by his wife, Nicole Lockett DeVoe.
Gerard Moore,
Yes.
you are suing the defendant Gregory Brown for $204 in lost T-shirt profits.
Yes, Your Honor.
And you are countersuing Mr. Brown for $5,000 for work hours invested in mental anguish.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Moore, I'll hear from you. Tell me what's going on. So the two of you decided to start a T-shirt business. Tell me about that.
Greg and his friend is one of their ideas to start a design business and recreating a very popular shirt at the time that we were both in school. And
where were you in school?
At Morehouse College. We were both at Morehouse College.
Very nice.
So that's where I originally met the defendant. And so it was basically to bring back that shirt idea and to use that as the launching point to go into other designs.
But this one shirt, that's what you're suing about, sales from this one shirt, right?
Exactly.
But you wanted to sell the shirt during, was it the homecoming?
Yes, ma'am.
Spellman's homecoming or Morehouse?
It's Morehouse Spellman homecoming. It's both the same.
They're same time?
Yeah.
So you wanted to be able to sell the shirt during homecoming and you thought you would make a big profit from it, right?
Right.
Okay, let me see the shirt. Okay, that's the front of the shirt. It's called The Apology.
Yeah, that's the front of the shirt.
And what does that mean?
It's basically talking to other schools. If you look at the back, it gives, I'm sorry for this, I'm sorry for this, I'm sorry that you're not a
That's the back of the shirt?
Yes.
Well, that's like 3 paragraphs.
Yeah, it is. It's a lot. It's a lot.
Who's going to read that?
People do it. People stop here and do it all the time.
They stop and read the shirt?
Yeah.
Look, I'm sorry you're not a Morehouse man. I'm sorry you will never be a Morehouse man. I'm sorry you can always tell a Morehouse man, but you can't tell him much. So this shirt is about you're telling other people you're sorry that they're not attending Morehouse?
Yes, ma'am.
The other shirts that you're talking about, did they have a dissertation on it like this as well?
No, not like that, no. That one was really a recreation, to be honest with you. And actually, I have the original shirt. And I had people stopping me all the time when I wore that shirt to actually read that shirt.
How'd this shirt work out for you guys?
Sales were, to be honest with you, poor.
Well, why were sales so poor?
To be honest with you, it was a lack of support from Gerard.
Well, tell me about that. Why is he saying that?
Because he lacks the ability to accept responsibility. Just like the design, the wording could have been bigger.
If you make the words bigger, it's not going to fit on the shirt.
Right. You have to pick and choose, so you have to condense some of it or what have you. But the major part for me was going to be the accounting, and then I ended up actually paying for all the shirts.
How many shirts did you order, sir?
It was 40 apiece. So 40 Morehouse and 40 Spellman.
How much did you pay for the shirts?
$1,032.
So you paid $12, almost $13 per shirt. How much were you selling them for?
25, 27, and...
That's a lot of money for a T-shirt for college students.
Coming up on Judge Faith, the college buddies disagree about their friendly agreement to sell the shirts.
No, this business relationship isn't working out. I'll just eat the cost.
Sir, you're suing over the 10 shirts that he hasn't returned to you. Where are those shirts?
Plaintiff Gerard Moore says Gregory is making up excuses not to pay him back. He's suing for T-shirt profits. Defendant Gregory Brown says he doesn't owe because there wasn't a profit. He's countersuing for work hours invested and mental anguish.
I appreciate the spirit the two of you have, right, in Morehouse trying to make this happen, but it just seemed like there was an issue from the start with the design of the shirts and how much you paid per shirt from the very beginning. That's way too much for a unit cost for a T-shirt. You're paying $13 per T-shirt right out of the box. The kind of shirt that a consumer can buy somewhere for $10. You know those I Love New York, I Love LA T-shirts? That, you know, it's kind of like that kind of shirt that people buy like 4 for $12. So you're paying $13 off the bat per shirt. That's a problem. Then you want to sell it for $25. I'm just telling you, I understand what you're saying. Students come from affluent backgrounds, but they're still college students, right? It's not their money, it's their parents' money. And it's $25 a shirt. This is going to be problematic. And it was because you didn't sell that many shirts. So how many shirts did you sell out of the 80?
I think we sold 10 shirts that day.
And you only tried one day, the day of homecoming?
The day of homecoming, because that's when the rest of the story unfolds, to be honest with you, where we were actually going to online sales as well.
The people who are there for homecoming, you're obviously doing this because they're in town for homecoming. What do you mean you're targeting them online? Don't you want to physically have the shirts and be out there selling the entire homecoming week?
There were issues with Mr. Moore to where he said he was going to do something, did not do it during that time period.
Do what?
He was going to pay for the shirts initially. He was supposed to do that a Saturday before homecoming started.
Okay.
So we could have them actually on that Monday.
When did you get the shirts?
I didn't get the shirts until that Friday evening.
Friday evening, and the homecoming game is
Saturday.
The next day?
I got them at 9
o'clock. So you didn't
o'clock.
have them the week of homecoming.
No, I did not have them
the day
the week
before
of
the homecoming game.
Exactly, because they were not paid for.
Why did you get them so late, sir?
We got them late because I didn't make the payment on that Saturday. I was sick, and I didn't make it out to the vendor to pay him.
You couldn't use PayPal or anything like that?
Actually, when I did do it, we did over the phone. So in reality, looking back, I could have actually made the payment over the phone.
So you only had the shirts to sell for one day for homecoming.
Yeah.
Were you out there selling shirts as well?
Yeah.
How many did you sell?
3.
So he sold 10 and you sold 3?
No, he sold
7.
Well, I don't know because he never gave me the breakdown of what he sold.
Well, do you have the shirts?
I have the remainder minus some that he was supposed to send me or give me the money for.
Okay, so how many shirts do you have, sir?
I have about 30.
You have 30 shirts and you only sold 10? Where are the other 40?
No, not 30, 60.
So you have 60 shirts? Okay, you have 60 shirts. You only purchased 80. You sold 10, so you're only missing 10 shirts. We're only now talking about a disparity of 10 shirts.
Right, but it's a disparity that he sold and was to deliver them. So what I did was I said, look, this business relationship isn't working out. I'm just going to get the remaining inventory, and I'll just eat the cost. I'll be responsible for it.
Sir, you're suing over the 10 shirts that he hasn't returned to you? Where are those shirts?
I don't have 10 shirts.
Why does he say you have 10 shirts?
I don't know. I gave him everything that I have. To be honest with you,
how many shirts did you give him?
I gave him everything that wasn't sold that day.
Well, can you tell me a number?
Okay, he had all the shirts to begin with, so it was 80. 2 months later, he told me he only received 78.
How many shirts did he return to you, sir?
He returned to me. I have a count of 60.
Sir, you told me you were out on homecoming day selling shirts yourself, so you couldn't have given him all 80 shirts. You had some yourself.
No, he picked up the shirts.
Yeah,
he picked up all the shirts.
So how were you out selling them yourself on homecoming day?
Because I met him in the parking lot.
You don't have your lawsuit together. You really don't.
Coming up, Judge Faith rules. And now, Judge Faith rules.
Ma'am?
Yes.
Step over, please.
Hello.
What do you have to say?
Initially, the T-shirts, the idea was formed in my home. He was not there the entire time of homecoming day. He showed up in the middle of the parade. The parade starts at 9. He got there around 10 or 11. We had been there since 6 a.m.
But that's not the problem, right? The problem isn't a couple of hours on homecoming day. The problem is the fact that you had the shirts on homecoming day for the first time and not the entire week. Mr. Moore, you don't have your lawsuit together. I asked you initially how many shirts you had. You said 30. I asked you a second time. You said 60. That's a disparity of 30 shirts, sir. You don't have your lawsuit together today. Your counterclaim, why are you suing for $5,000 for work hours invested? You only worked on homecoming day. You getting paid by the word per shirt, too?
No, ma'am. What happened is I actually did all of the actual work. I created the website.
It didn't work out. It didn't work out. The business venture did not work out. Your counterclaim for $5,000 is dismissed. Your claim is dismissed. You simply haven't proven your case to me. Good luck to both of you.
Thank you.
Next time, instead of putting up all the money, it would be more like a true partnership where we would have equally put up the amount for all the shirts.
It is what it is at this point.
If you or someone you know has a dispute, don't take the law into your own hands. Let Judge Faith rule on it for you. To submit your case, go to judgefaith.com and tell us your story. See you in court.